Let's say you're a homeowner in Union City, and you really don't like a development that's been proposed in your neighborhood. And let's say I told you Larry Price specializes in Union City zoning laws. In the last 5 years, he's argued some 45 cases in Union City alone, and won about 70% of them. You'd say, I want to hire that guy as my lawyer, right? Well, you can't, because Larry isn't a lawyer. He's just a very involved citizen.
The way I got interested in zoning was the way everybody gets interested in zoning. They built a couple of bad buildings in my neighborhood, and I said, basically asked the question, what's going on?
This is that bad building. Larry admits it looks fine, but it willfully defies the city's zoning laws. There's not enough parking, the density's too high, it's 100% coverage. In fact, more, since there are no setbacks.
So this is on public property. The balconies extend out over public property.
Basically, there are a lot of projects like this, and Larry feels the city is just rubber stamping them. So he started going to zoning board meetings, and with the help of a lawyer friend, started building cases and filing lawsuits.
The way we started out was the first case, I was the name and he did the work. And by the 12th case, I was the name and I was doing most of the work.
I would give them copies of how I filed a notice of appeal. I'd give them copies of my briefs with the appellate division, which was somewhat different than with the law division. I said, Larry, you're a bright guy. You could handle these pro se. You don't need me anymore.
Larry is unusually successful at representing himself. He religiously attends the city's zoning and planning board meetings, even when no one else does.
I'm an expert, if you will. You know, it's a very thin slice of life, but I'm an expert on zoning law in the city of Union City.
Call him a gadfly. Call him worse. But if you plan on building a project that pushes the boundaries of the Union City Municipal Code, you will lock horns with this guy.
This is an area zoned for 1 through 4 family houses. That is a high-rise apartment building, so that's a use that's not even permitted here.
Before a developer comes in now, or when a developer's thinking of coming in now, I wouldn't be surprised if that developer calls Larry first and asks Larry, what do you think of this type of a development?
Ironically, Larry says the people who've benefited the most from his actions are in fact developers, because he effectively stopped projects that would have come on market at the height of the economic crisis.
I did them a favor. I've suggested 1 or 2 of them that they should write me a small check in recompense. Somehow that is not the answer. I don't think their answers could be printed in a family newspaper.
The mayor's office declined to be interviewed for this story. They said they didn't want to lend credibility to Larry's actions. And Larry does concede he feels some responsibility for the blight of unfinished buildings.
Probably the worst alternative is what we have here presently, which is an unfinished project.
If you've ever felt like the cards are stacked against you, that you can't fight City Hall, well, you're wrong, but you're also right. It's basically a full-time job, which Larry can afford to do, because now he's retired.
It's difficult for the normal citizen to do this. Basically, I guess I'm doing it on their behalf.